Good day, students. Our lesson for today is about customer analysis, and we are in module number 3. We are done with competitor analysis, and this module number 4, we talk about customer analysis. The question is this: Doc Masanga, why is it important that we are already done with competitor analysis? Why should we learn and study about customer analysis? That's a good question. Is it necessary to analyze the customer? Is it also necessary to analyze the competitor? To answer both questions, the foundation of marketing is the three C's, which is an equilateral triangle. The company, the competitor, and the customer. As a marketer, it is mandated for you to conduct a competitor analysis and to conduct a customer analysis simply because that is the foundation of your, if this is the foundation, right? Let's say there is a structural beam and your marketing strategy is sitting on this strong foundation. And this strong foundation is a combination of your competitor analysis and your customer analysis. The marketing strategy that you are going to implement is designed to outperform your competitor and give the customer the excellent experience towards converting them to be loyal customers. And the marketing strategy is the 4 P's, which is your price. What is your strategy with regards to price? Your product strategy, your promotional strategy, and your placement strategy. Remember that the objective of each of the 4 P's has a different connotation to the customers. Number 1, the product serves as a solution to the problem and concern of your customers. The price is the value they get in return out of their money. The promotion serves as convenience, and promotion serves as communication, and place is convenience. So therefore, in order for you to launch a competitive strategy, you have to understand the customer analysis and the competitor analysis. So let's start about customer analysis. You can see in this figure or graphical representation that each of the persons or individual concerns have different color coding. So it represents that if this is the totality of your customers, it is very imperative that you understand each of the segment of your customers and each of the profile of your customers. So that is a good starting point of why we do customer analysis, how we do customer analysis, when we do customer analysis. So these are the key questions, right? So therefore, the learning outcome of this customer analysis is to give students a synthesis of how to conduct a customer analysis, an understanding and comprehension of why we need to do a customer analysis. So these are the learning outcomes. Now, in order for you to have a learning objective, as we are, our objective is to understand how we do a customer analysis. So let us proceed. So here, customer, okay, in order for you to make a marketing strategy of how you going to attract your customers, how are you going to retain your customers until the customer life cycle. So the customer is the one who is dictating quality. There is no entrepreneur that will say that your product is of excellent quality. That is very biased. It is only the customers that will dictate the quality. If you are doing well, let's say in public relation, if you manage your positive corporate reputation, it is the public opinion that will dictate whether your corporate reputation is positive or negative. So customers are the lifeblood of the business. Customers generate revenues and sales. So the more customers you have, the more revenues you have or sales. So your customer and your revenues in the business are directly proportional. If your customers are reduced, your revenues will decrease as well. So they are directly proportional. So in order for you to generate more revenues or sales, you must understand and analyze your customers. Customers nowadays are very knowledgeable and they want choices, and customers are complicated. That is why, in order for you to understand your product market strategy, maybe product number one is appropriate for this market. Product number two might be appropriate for market number two. But product number two or product number three might be appropriate to M1 and M3, but not M1 and M2, but not market 3. So you must understand the segmentation of your customers. It is very necessary. It is a prerequisite for the product manager to understand, no? To understand the customer segment. It is not only, if you are a product manager, it is a 10 commandments to understand your customer and to understand what is the strategy of your competitor. Customers that are existing, customers that are, prospective customers, and how these customers can be converted to loyal customers. So it is very necessary for a product manager to really know and be immersed with their customers. Of course, the segment of the customers can be demographic, which includes the age, gender, religion, um, and there is also geographic and the psychographic, which is the values, attitude, and lifestyle. So it is very strategic and competitive for a product manager to understand really the different segmentation of your customer. Why? Why? Because a product manager will be aided with the data extracted from this customer analysis so that the product manager can create a strategy for each of the customer segment. Example, the customer segment is 18, let's say, to 25 years old. This is the bulk of your customer segment. Now, what about those 26 to 35 years old? Maybe it's time for the product manager to have a diversified product so that this segment of the market, no, which are considered unturned stones, can be served. So it is very necessary for you to segment your customer. What we need to know about customer, there are a lot. And all of these are key questions that starts with who, what, where, when, how, why. So all of these are questions so that we can understand, no, knowing very deep and wide our customer, who buys and uses the product, when customers buy the product, where the customers buy the product, how the customer choose the product or the service, why customers choose a product. So these are questions necessary to be answered when doing a customer analysis. Okay? And each analysis should be categorized to the different segment of your customers. First question, who buys the product? What are key points or salient points that should be learned about concept and principles about who buys the product or who buys the product or the service? The who must be broken down into several different buyers within the organization or household, meaning to say, organization, these are, um, business to business, this one is business to consumer, okay? Or this one is related to your corporate customers, and these are the general consumers, okay? So there are, type of buyers who are, or customers or consumers who are uh, that identify the need and they are classified as initiator. There are some buyers who are termed influencer, and who are they? These are um, customers that needs necessary information, details, facts, no, so that they can be aided in their consumer buying behavior. There is also a decider. The decider makes final decision depending on each budget uh, or affordability. Yeah? And there are also called buyers who make the actual purchase, and there are classifications that are called users. So these are the different classifications of who buys the product. So it is very important each of the segment to classify who are this particular segment or customers. Are they initiators? Are they influencers? Are they deciders? Are they buyers? Are they users of the product? Because each of the category has a different strategy. That's why marketing management is an art and science. Who buys the product? There is also a classification of a consumer market and a business market. A consumer market can be divided into following categories: the demographic, socioeconomic, personality, psychographic, behavioral. So the consumer market can be segmented to the different, demographic, geographic, and psychographic, no? So you might categorize each of the segment that you will know on this kind of category. While for the business market, this is the business organization, it could be segmented according to company size. Is it a single proprietor? Is it partnership? It is corporation? Is it a micro? Is it small, medium enterprise? Where is it competing in the industry? Is it in the food industry? Is it in the BPO industry? Is it in the airline industry? Is it in the hotel industry, tourism industry? No. And of course, the location. Where is it located? Of course, we have different regions, no? And we have three major islands. Where is that particular location? And other factors such as operating variables, purchasing approaches, situation, and personnel. So again, as part of the segment of the market is that, is this a consumer market or is this a business market? Again, there are other methods which include clustering, cross-tabular, regression analysis with the aid of statistical data, wherein you want to predict and you want to know whether there is an influence on a particular situation for that particular customer segment. Cluster analysis examines the values of the variables for each respondent. What is these variables being discussed? Of course, we know that there is an independent variable and there is a dependent variable. Again, for your recollection, independent variables are the type of variables that you control and manipulate, which affects the dependent variable. And then the group respondents together based upon similarities of their values. So if you want to analyze the result of your dependent variable, so you have to identify the trends and the patterns of, or the similarities and difference of the result of your data. So this is an analysis of that is based on clustering. Here, an example is Mobile Corporation, who applied cluster analysis to gasoline consumers to custom fit and design a strategy on the different gas stations to the communities. Of course, these different gas stations located in different geography, the segment is different. There might be a variable which is similar, and there might be a variable that is different. So this mobile corporation identified 5 segments of gasoline consumers. They classified it as road warriors, true blues, generation F3, the homebodies, and the price shoppers. So this is the classification used by Mobile Corporation based on their because these categories might not be different to food industries. So it depends on what particular organization you are in the market or serving the market. But for petroleum products such as this one, they have a category of these consumers. Okay, the road warriors, from the perception of mobile gasoline, the road warriors have high income. They are middle-aged men who drive 25,000 to 50,000 miles per year. Okay, so if you are going to divide 50,000 by by 12 months, so you will have particularly uh, consuming at 4,167 miles per month, no? So they classify this as road warriors. Now, since the road warriors have high income and they are middle-aged men, maybe they have the economic stability, and the profile of their vehicles might be top of the line, you know, because they can afford it, and they are very sensitive on their quality of gasoline being fed to their engines. Like they prefer premium gas, and the terms of payment is credit card, as well as, you know, not only filling up petrol fuel, but rather they also go and get their snacks and meals in the convenience store, which 60% of that population who are considered road warriors. Now, who are the true blues according to Mobile Corporation? Guys, these are just examples, no? Of course, if you are in the food industry, the terminology of your market segment might be different, no? The true blues are a combination of the male and female gender with moderate to high incomes, who are loyal to a brand and sometimes to a particular gas refilling station, which is 16%, no? Now, the generation F3, which stands for fuel, food, and fast. These are upwardly mobile men and women who are always on the go, no? And half of this generation F3 are under 25 years old. They are young professionals, no? Who are constantly on the go, who, you know, drive and snack, and 27% of these are in this population. The homebodies are usually, you know, homemakers who shuttle kids around during the day, and, you know, as a regular and routine, no, itinerary, they buy gas from whatever station is along the way, which represents 21%. The price shoppers are, you know, not considered loyal to a brand or station, but rarely buy premium, and this is 20%. Maybe premium gas, the price shoppers prefer unleaded gasoline. So most gas companies have targeted the last group, no? Which is, the generic. They are not applicable to premium. They can prefer to whatever gas station they prefer, no? So this mobile corporation has emphasized better service and amenities to customers in the first two segments, and has been able to charge 2 cents more per gallon than competitors in some markets. So this was the strategy that was defined by Mobile Corporation in order to address those segments. So it is precisely, guys, the process of segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So this segmentation, targeting, and positioning is really very important to customer analysis. this is your management tool, no? Or marketing tool, so that you can uh, you know set up a good marketing strategy after you have segmented and strategize and target each of the particular customer profile. So this was the strategy done by Mobile Corporation. Now let's go to what is cross-tabular analysis. It uses categorical variables constructed from customer membership in a category. Two variables involved are independent and dependent variables. So these are categorical data, no? Um, so it emphasizes what I mentioned. This is the independent, which is the one being manipulated or controlled, and the dependent variable is the result of after the manipulation. It is cause and effect. Okay, the cause is the independent and the effect is the dependent. This is a data that was presented as an example of a cross-tab analysis for a food cranberry sauce usage, no? So this is the, you can see here in the x-axis you have cooking attitude, the heavy users, the medium users, the light users, and of course the total. While on the y-axis, you can see the category of convenience-oriented, enthusiastic cook, disinterested decorator. So you can see visually, no, that the data presents that in the convenience-oriented cooking attitude, the heavy users is the second, no, to the highest, and the highest are the medium users. Second is 81 and 74, total of 299. While for the enthusiastic cooking attitude, you have again medium users. And the disinterested cooking attitude, you have again the medium users. And the decorator, no, these are, no, the terminologies that was used by the food industries, particularly in sauce, no, usage. Um, so you have medium users as 96, no? So this is a cross tab data that needs to be analyzed, because it is very clear that you can see here that the medium users are very endearing, no, when it comes to the different cooking attitudes. And now we have here a regression analysis. This is a, predictor, influencer, statistical data. You want to know whether, in regression analysis you have two types: the multiple regression and the linear regression. This kind of analysis, when used, when the product manager can specify explicit relationship between a dependent variable and one or more predictor, no, or descriptor variable. Okay, so what is important here is that in regression analysis, your data should be discrete data and uh, and continuous data, yeah? So that it can be processed by regression. Continuous data. All right. So what customers buy and how they use it. Again, the purpose why customers buy may be for benefits or advantage. It could be product assortment, or it can be in terms of usage. When it comes to benefits, customers get for what they pay, the value, no? The firm produces features, but customers buy benefits. That is true, no? Because there is a strategy in sales. You consultative uh, selling strategy is more on the style of or technique in selling that you sell, not the features of the product, but rather the benefit. No? Like for example, the typical example is you want to buy a premium car, which is Volvo. The benefit is safety. No, so there are segment of the market that buys Volvo not because of the features, but rather they are safe riding and using Volvo cars. No? The other segment is about product assortment, the number of brands purchased by customers in that segment. So this is an example, the number of brands. Let's say, for example, Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble has a lot of product lines and a lot of product mixes. So, you know, different brands, but the one owner that competes different brands in the market, but there is only one sole owner, which is P&G. Okay. Use, how customers use the product, including the when, the where, and the how. With what else they use the product. No? So it depends on that particular segment of the customers of how they use the product, when they use the product, and where they use the product. This one tells about the location or geography. Where do customers buy? An analysis of where customers make purchase decisions is critical input into decisions about the channels of distribution. The channels must adapt to changing patterns of customer purchase location. In the channel distribution, this is the supply chain or the distribution management channel. So allow me to show you this channel of distribution. So you have here the manufacturer, and the manufacturer uses the wholesaler, and then it uses the retailer, and then the customer. So this is a particular indirect distribution channel. If you want to do a direct distribution channel, so the flow chart will be manufacturing direct to the customers. This is a direct distribution channel, while this one is indirect. The channels are not fixed because customers migrate to other channels as their information needs and other market conditions change. So, uh, Dell computer, when Michael Dell was just 17 years old, he eliminated the use of intermediaries, no, this one, and he used a direct channel distribution, which makes their company have a competitive advantage because they can reduce the price per unit of their product. So it depends on uh, the strategy of the company, especially if you are in the food. It is necessary that you utilize some intermediary channels. The purpose of this is to make sure that the product is readily available when the customer needs it, where the customer needs to buy your product. When do customers buy? This refers to the seasonality, no, of the year customer. Like for example, here in the Philippines, we have from September to December, we have Christmas season. So, and then comes November, we have All Souls Day and All Saints Day. Comes during summer, we have Holy Week. February is Valentine's Day, right? So there are products and services that varies according to when the customers buy. You know? Here, the example that was given was for a fast food restaurants, and they talk about the schedule of your meals per day, like breakfast, lunch, merienda, dinner. For business market, you have capital equipment purchase, no? Is made near the end of the fiscal year because this is capital budgeting. And usually customers buy in malls during payday, bonuses, and where there is a sale, no? So it depends on, especially during Christmas season, no? Every Filipinos are have the high purchasing power because of the 13 month pay, no? Which is mandated by the government. So that's why during Christmas season there are a lot of promos, discount sales, no? So that the consumers can purchase your product, especially to those multinational companies wherein the 13-month pay is given in advance, no? So they will not have to go to the Christmas rush sale. Why do customers prefer a product? The analogy here is this examines why customers make purchase decisions. No, in particular, they choose one product over another. Yeah, because customer needs to have a choice. So they compare the features, the specifications, the price, the terms, the warranty, everything has to be scrutinized by the customers. Why? Because the customers are knowledgeable nowadays. Customers need to have choices, and customers are knowledgeable because information is just a click of a finger. So customer value is what the product is worth to the consumer in terms of the economic, no, the net financial benefit, the functionality, the performance, and psychological, which is the brand equity. So, in terms of psychological, the segmentation should be the values, attitude, and lifestyle. Segmentation you are going to use. No? So, net financial benefit refers to the purchasing power, especially if your age bracket is between 20, from 25 to 40 years old. They have the economic stability. They are already financially stable, no? All right. Another reason why customers prefer a product is number one is price sensitivity, cost consumers, of course, your complaints and compliments, and word of mouth, no? All right. When it comes to price, the company's assessment of the product value. So, in order to understand the impact of price sensitivity, customer complaints, so you have to really analyze your customer. This is what the product manager needs to do. You have to analyze your competitor, you have to analyze your customers so that you can target a specific and design a specific marketing strategy for each of the segment that you have targeted. That is very important. And in order for you to understand your marketing strategy, competitive marketing strategy, you have to do your customer analysis and competitor analysis. Especially the word of mouth nowadays, in social media, no, information is very quick, no? you can see the likes, the dislikes, the reviews and comments, no, coming from the social media users. Okay. Another one is the margin. Higher margin indicates more value, meaning to say the profit margin. The revenue or peso sales, higher market share means high value, meaning to say you can outperform your competitor because the customers are going to your brick and mortar shop or location, no? The competitive activity, and of course the repeat purchase, customers who are considered uh, loyal, no? Because in the consumer buying behavior, the first stage is there should be a problem identification and need recognition, and the consumers will go to the second stage, which is the search for information, and the third stage is the alternative choices, and the fourth is the purchase, and the fifth is the post purchase. So every consumer has to go to this consumer buying behavior process. If any consumer that does not follow the consumer buying behavior process a um, is considered a abrupt buyer or impulsive buyer. Okay. One attribute is the physical characteristics, perceptions, and random events like special in-store displays, if you have promos, if you have discounts, no, sales promotions. So these are the way or the methodology of how the customer choose to patronize your product. Consumer decision making, as discussed, no, is also dependent on the level of difficulty of the problem they are trying to solve. No, what I called your product is the objective this of to the customer is it provides solution to the problem of the consumer, and it has a value they want to purchase from your product. Okay, and there is an opportunity for them to patronize your product. So another situation is called extensive problem solving. EPS situations are generally found among first time purchasers and with products that are technologically new, no? These are the uh, people who wants to consume and patronize products that are new to the market, no? And they are considered extensive problem solving, no? And it is also critical for first time purchasers of your product because they are going to have, no, if you are a marketer, you want to have a positive customer experience that the consumers will feel about the purchase of their product rather than a negative customer experience, because a positive customer experience will have a positive referral or a word of mouth. Okay. There is also limited problem solving. It assumes that the customer understands the basic functioning of the product, the functionality or performance of the product. It involves comparison of alternatives, which is in the third stage of the consumer buying behavior after the search for information. No? So the choices will be here, no? And they want to compare apples to apples, orange to orange, grapes to grapes. And there is also what you called a routinized problem solving purchases. follow a predetermined rule for making decisions. So this problem solving aspect of how do customers or consumers choose is really anchored to the consumer buying behavior process. Now, according to the data, 63 or 64% of volume is from households with greater than 40,000 income. So this data is for a chocolate energy bar, no? So they try to analyze the customers, and these are the data that they found out. Uh, what is salient about the data is the 72% of the volume is from household with no kids, no? Followed by 65.8% of the volume is from household where the head has some college education. No, maybe you know, choc chocolate gives some booster, no, when you are studying. Okay, of course, if you are quite 35 and above, and you are diabetic, this is a problem. So this is for a chocolate energy bar customer analysis. So they have now a clustering of data from gender, female, and the 65 and above, which is 12, very low. The You can see here that the 21% of the 18 to 24 is a high, no, percent. The last 6 months who consume, it is 18 to 24, and basically they might be female, no, but the difference is just 2%, no, from the population of the genders, followed by the 21, which is tied 25 to 34 and 36 to 44. So you can see in this age bracket that the adults might not, you know, hesitant to eat energy bars because, of health problems or health concerns. So they have some terminologies about the result of their segmentation, which comes to energy bars or chocolate. They have hardcore athletes, muscle men, dieters, health purists, health conscious, and on the go, sports enthusiasts, specialty segments, nutrition seeking families. Again, this is for energy bars, no? Like mobile corporations, no? Different. And that sauce, no? Energy analysis, again, customer analysis with regards to uh, what they buy, no? They buy convenience, taste, texture, health benefits, performance, hunger, price expect to $1 to 150 per bar, packaging, buy in bulk, availability. So this data will occur if you have conducted your customer analysis that you are going to segment, target, and position your strategy. Again, a data that speaks about the usage, meal replacement, snacks, athletic energy boosters, no? All right. For energy bars, the highest and the top is health food stores, no? Where they buy. And club stores is the lowest, no? Uh, Drug stores and grocery stores. Okay? Again, this is the assessment part of the tutorial video. If you feel that this tutorial video gives you a benefit, gives you an advantage, and captures the four types of learners, please like and subscribe to my tutorial video, and thank you very much.